Good evening, everyone. So I grew up playing tennis in the suburbs of Bombay. My dad was a tennis coach. He coached a lot of kids, and that's how I was inspired to pick up the sport. We all have dreams, and we all have hopes. We all have visions, and they're very pure when you're a kid. And so I always dreamt of being one of the best players, not only in the country but also in the world. And youth is such an impressionable age when you make your life out of modelizing your icons and role models. And that's what I precisely did. It actually took me 2 years and 23 tournaments to win my first match, but I never lost my hope or determination to be one of the best in the world. I continued playing, and eventually when I actually gained success in the later years of my career, it never really reflected on the potential or the talent that I had. And it's later when I realized, when I played college tennis in US, that it's not because we lacked the ability or the skills or the talent to perform at the highest level in the world, but it's more of a reason because we do not have infrastructure or facilities that is provided to us during our formative years. And so I came back to India, and along with a few of my other friends have pledged on starting a foundation called the Dream On Sports Foundation. And this foundation is focused on developing sports, promoting sports in the rural areas of our state, Andhra Pradesh. So we planned on setting up a chapter in every district of our state. And this chapter is responsible in promoting and developing the sport in the villages registered under that district. We do have a few sports which are pretty popular in those rural areas, something called handball and a sport called as kabaddi. Now we don't want to disturb that. We want to build around those sports, and from there we want to create an environment where a lot of people can come in and enjoy. Simultaneously, we want to also take care of the education part. And so we're going to be organizing small schools, and we're going to be tied up with the government schools in that respective district. Now, we do understand that we culturally bound by certain values and certain morals and ethics. Our society perceives and stereotypes and distinguishes you by the education, the standard of education that you have accomplished in your career. We don't want to take that away from the kids. So as they're playing sports, we're also going to have them included, registered in schools in those districts. Now, we need to understand and realize that youth is that wonderful time in life when energy is at its highest, creativity is at its best, and the desire that says never say die spirit is at its peak. We do understand that today we see and read a lot of young people achieve in almost all the spheres and different aspects of life, whether it's from the unemployment lines in Japan or Europe to the swarming streets of Cairo and Lagos. The world's youth has demonstrated a new role in sending a message to the society. Now, our foundation is focused on doing something similar. We are focused on developing responsibility, instilling ideas, experimenting and researching, and also we focused on setting up programs which is going to foster the community, give them an identity, a social communication skills. We're going to develop everybody, and we're going to help them take it to the next level. A country today is either recognized by their economic developments or by what they've achieved in sports. And we can fairly say that India in the past 2 decades has tremendously grown to be one of the leading world leaders in the field of economics. But it's really sad to say that we are far behind in the field of sports. Now with this foundation And I'm glad to say that we have 75 corporates already tied up who have pledged to donate rupees 3 lakhs each, and we've already gotten started on that. And then so we're actually starting at the district level. Then we want to have companies come in, create, and so the company is also involved in doing a lot of these activities. Coming from a sporting background of 20 years, it's sad to say that how people underestimate how a sports can be used as an effective instrument in influencing a kid's life, whether it's fostering a community or whether it's developing interpersonal relation skills, or whether it is giving back something to the society. This foundation that we have set up is something different. It's also going to introduce a couple of sports that have never been heard or played in our country. It's going to create a passion. It's going to create an enthusiasm in the youth of today. It's going to get them out of their homes, have them experience something which is unique, which is different, something that they have not even heard about in their lives. Sports is something that can be used in daily life, and everybody can relate to. It's really hard to explain how our system, how the sporting system in India works, and we should actually focus on changing that. We need to develop more sporting programs. We need to develop more talent hunt programs. We need to introduce them into the rural areas where most of the population resides. We need to have a lot of kids participate in sports at the schooling levels, and then migrate them to and have them graduate to the college and the university levels. We need to start believing that what we do is really unique, and what we want to do is something that's not been done for the past 50 million years. That's how we need to start doing things. Sports is something that has taught me to think differently, that has taught me to be more confident, that has taught me to be more patriotic, more creative in terms of leadership skills, in terms of ideas, in terms of venturing out. This is something that cannot be done in a classroom, and this is what we want to do with our foundation. Sports needs to be visible. It's a pity that in our country, sports means cricket, and other sports are not even addressed like the way the cricket is. Our foundation is focused on starting initially with tennis, and then after the initial success, after 5 years, we're going to adopt different sports like chess, badminton, soccer, volleyball, and handball. These sports are more of a team-oriented game, and what we're going to do is we're going to go out to schools, we're going to have tie-ups with them, and we're going to say we're going to introduce a program called a Speed Kids program, which is going to conduct 30 different tests, and it's going to filter the kids depending upon their results. And when this program kicks off, every kid, depending upon their biomechanics, will be filtered into different sports and different dimensions and verticals of the sporting industry. Sports industry is it's a $1 trillion industry. Isn't that enough to eradicate poverty in a developing nation and to develop a nation? This is something that needs to be taken into account. And I hope tonight everybody realizes the importance of sports in one's life and start building up and start endorsing sports as one of the major aspects of a human's life. Thank you.